Hey guys, today I will be showing you how to rewrap one of your trim panels in your car. Now this panel is out of my 97 GQ Patrol. It's a rear left hand panel from memory, and I'll be retrimming it in this black vinyl here. Now when you choose your vinyl, you want to choose a good quality vinyl. I'll source this one from Daly's. They're an upholstery trimming suppliers. You usually can find them in every state in Australia. But the advantage of this one, it's quite thick. It hides most of your defects that you typically are shown. If you look closely at the factory vinyl, there is no backing on it. It's just a PVC layer, and it's just not a very high quality vinyl. But when you're wrapping it, you want to pick a nice thick heavy one, especially when you're using original boards. If you're using brand new boards or cutting your own, you can get away with thinner, more fragile vinyls. But if you're reusing boards and you're peeling up the old ones where there's bit defects, I recommend looking for something a little bit thicker. Go down to your local trimmer or upholstery supplier and actually get some rated and proper motor trimming vinyl if you're using it for this purpose. But let me dig into this and I'll tear down the original panel and see what we're working with. Now we have the raw board here. You can see there's just a few little damages just from being 20 something years old. But still in a usable condition. Won't look 100% perfect as there is some bowing and distorting in the corners, but for its purpose it's going to be more than adequate, as the back of the Patrol is going to have some drawers and pretty much most of it's going to be covered anyway. But I will show you how to wrap it, how to wrap the corners, get them looking neat. Around this corner here is probably going to be the trickiest one out of them all, because it is the tightest corner, and you do have this cutout for one of the clips right in the corner, which can make life a little more challenging. I will also be deleting this cutout, as that's a cutout for seatbelts, and the rear seats have been removed and thrown in the bin, so that's just not needed, so I'll be covering that up. So I'll give this a quick sand, make it nice, and then we'll start wrapping it. Alright, now I've sanded the panel. I have exposed a couple areas that we don't want to apply any glue. Right here, there is a bit of a notch where something looks like it's hit the side. So inside the circle, we don't want to apply any glue. I typically don't like to apply any glue within about 10mm or half an inch from the sides. I also will not apply glue about that distance from any of these, because as you apply glue, especially without foam, like ideally I'd put a 3mm layer of foam on this, or help hide all these clips a lot more. But I don't have 3mm foam, I have 10, but I think 10mm foam's a bit too thick and actually makes it look worse than having a couple bumps from the clips. But I'm dealing with what I have. But all these clips you want to avoid gluing right next to. Even this cutout here, because I'll be deleting that, I won't be gluing around there either. The one exception to the edge and the cutouts for the clips, I will be putting a bit of glue on here. Now when I apply my glue, I use a spray gun, just like so. It's just the cheapest one I could find at Bunnings, a little gravity feed one, $20, can't really go wrong. Sprays perfectly fine for contact adhesive. Now the contact adhesive I'm using today is the Super Grip. It's a spray contact adhesive that's also available at Dailies. You can also get that at your local trim shop, upholstery shop, canvas store. Most of them will have it, and typically will sell you just in cans, but it's up to you what you want to use. In theory you could just brush it on, but I'm going to be using this because it's a lot easier, a lot quicker. So, and when you're spraying this glue, you've got to be careful. You do not want to spray in thick sections, because if you get a puddle of glue, it's not only going to make your cover look like crap, it's going to take a significant amount of time to dry, and probably won't have the same adhesion. But you want to just a light mist over top, and probably do a couple layers. So you do a primary layer, and that will seep into the board, and then you come back and you do a second layer, and that will just build up and give it some strength. And use the same method on the vinyl as well. On the vinyl, you can just glue the entire thing, whereas on the board, you want to keep the glue out of these areas I mentioned earlier. Alright, enough of that, and I'll glue this up. Okay, now I have that wrapped. Now I did use the opposite side for the other video of gluing up the panel, but the point still remains the same. Now that we're here, I'll show you that because we didn't glue those cutouts, you shouldn't actually be able to see where the holes are. Now with the vinyl going direct to the board, if there is any debris, anything sticking up, you'll actually be able to see it pretty clearly through the vinyl. As you can see, there is a spot right there, which is not uncommon when you're gluing vinyl directly to a board or a panel that doesn't have that foam or protective layer between the two. That's typically why you have the thin foam layer. That will be fine for its purpose anyway. But now we're here, I'm going to be gluing all the way around here, all around the edges, in about 10 or 15 mil. So as long as you get the glue at least to those points, will be fine. And while I'm at it, I'm going to be trimming out the vinyl about that far from the edge all the way around. Trimming it now, it's just going to make life a little easier and save you having to do it later. And when we come to here, we want to put little slits in the vinyl, just like so. You want to keep it about 5mm away from the edge, and that will just allow the vinyl to expand as it goes through this internal corner here. Now, as far as the corners go, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We'll be cutting a pattern somewhat like this. and I'll show you why. Okay, now that we're glued up and cut out, we'll start working on these corners. Now I like to cut into the corner just like so, just stopping approximately 3 to 5 millimeters away from the corner. And that gap for this kind of radius, we're looking about 8 mil apart. And then I'm going to cut in on this angle to meet that there. The same as the other side. Now that is going to allow us to pull the vinyl over the corner and hopefully prevent having any kind of dog ears in the corner. Now to make your life easier even more, you can use a hot air gun. Something like this, you really don't actually need it, but I'm going to use this one anyway, just to make life that little bit more simpler. Now obviously, as you're using a heat gun, you don't want to overheat it. Just to get it warm, make it a bit more pliable. And that should be more than fine. Pull the center over. And you can pull the sides. That's the first corner done. And we'll do the same on the next one. A bit of heat. Be careful not to pull hard on the center strip, because they can break if you're a little bit overzealous. And this inside corner, you could probably just stretch it over and it would stretch out. But just to show, if there's a tight inside corner, you just give these a couple of nicks, stopping about 5 millimeters away from the edge, and that will allow the vinyl just to expand out. Again on this corner, same technique. A little bit of heat. Okay, this corner here, being sharper than 90 degrees, can get a little trickier. This one won't be too bad because it's not too sharp, but I'll show you what I do anyway. I start the same. Can eat it up, but really don't have to. nick out of there. Second nick. Now we just want to cut a little bit size out of there, so you just don't want this overlapping where that stud is going to sit. You can chop this back a bit. Over the last edge, and that's this panel sorted. That's what we look like. Here we have our finished product. Now if we look closely, we've managed to succeed in the corners without having any dog ears or any points. If you look at the original covers, you can see that these just had little points or dog ears just at the point. So by nicking and cutting that pattern into the corners just allows us to avoid having these little dog ears. And you can see just a little bit of a lump here. That'd be just a little grain of dirt that I missed when I was preparing it. But a little bit more care in the preparation stage should help prevent that. Now you can wrap these without gluing it to the face first, but I find it a lot simpler just having it stuck to the face of the board, because these can shift around as you're trying to glue the back side. And that's this panel done. All we need to do is put the clips back in and fit it back to the car, and you have yourself a freshly recovered panel. The techniques can be adapted to just about any panel, whether it's a pillar panel, door panel, or just a any small trim panel. The techniques will still apply.